What is up, YouTube? Welcome back here to another video, and yes, we are in the shop. It feels good to be finally starting a new video in the shop that involves working on some trucks. So you can see the Ford here. We kind of got it all set back up on jack stands and whatnot, and that is going to be basically what our video is on today. We already started a little bit of the rear suspension, which I'm going to show you here in a minute. And we have the axle out, which is over here. You can see we are going to touch it up a little bit in some of these rusty areas with some black paint to try and make it look 100%. And then we will get it back under there, and we are going to try and work on some of these front suspension brackets and anything we can do. We're still missing some parts that are at paint and powder coat, but we are going to do what we can today. So coming to the back here, we have most of this done. You can see our blocks in. There's a bottom piece for the track bar that we have to put on here yet. We still got to torque these down, and you can see we got these all marked out here, and these all need to be cut like the other side over here because they were way too tall. So we nicked them off, and I still got to clean all these up and whatnot. We did do the brake lines too yesterday. PMF sends you new brake lines for the lift kit, so they are not stretched. So we did those. Another thing I probably am going to work on today is going to be a solid mount setup thing for this air horn kit, because right now the only way this is held up there is by that spare tire holder. Got the bottom track bar mount on here, as you can see. And you can see that bolts in by 8 of these bolts on each side, and then we just got finished torquing all of these down to 45 foot-pounds. So that side is done over there as well. Made sure our brake lines are clear of everything. Got those good. So the back is pretty much done. Just have to get this horn done too. Alright, so now back onto the air horn here. So basically the problem is you can see those rubber feet up there. I already loosened everything, but like you can see how you can jiggle this thing, and it's just held up by that spare tire holder, and you can kind of see how the plate's bent. I don't know if I went over all this already or not. But anyway, we've heard some horror stories, so we gotta get this thing secured. So I got some long bolts, and basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna move those feet. We're gonna move these ones back here, and then we're gonna move those ones towards that way a little bit. And then basically where those feet were, we're gonna lower this whole platform down, and then we're gonna drill holes for this size bolt here, right where each foot is. And we're going to drop this down, and then we're going to just secure basically the same. I'll see if I can get my camera up in here. Basically the same way it is, but with a solid bolt coming down through there too. So the rubber feet will be there, but basically what these are going to do is they are going to eliminate this, and this will still leave this there, and we'll still leave some tension on it, but this is going to be the main source of keeping those rubber feet up against the plate there. Yeah, and to be completely honest with this kit, it's a nice kit, but this like whole plate and housing that that this thing is on is a little cheap. If I mean, I think so personally. I think this plate on the bottom should be a lot thicker, considering that's the only way you're holding it up is with that tire. Like if this plate was thicker and you could put a lot more tension on it with that spare, like when you pull up your spare tire, you normally collapse this spring. You can see it has a good ways to go. So if you could really tighten it up, I mean, it would probably be fine, but you can't put enough pressure on it. And you can see we just started to put a little pressure on it and it bent the plate. So yeah, a little frustrating especially for what this kit costs. But that's my personal opinion. But anyway, we're gonna make it right so that we don't ever have to worry about this thing. So using the old forklift here, got the axle hung up here, going to touch it up a little bit. There's some areas like off in these corners here. You can see they're a little rusty already. This truck only has like 1,000 miles on it, so and it already looks like that. So we're gonna touch that up so this thing looks halfway decent, and then we'll bring it back in here and probably let it sit overnight to dry. Stuff seems to be a pretty good match. Sure, I'll get a nice layer of overspray on the lens here. It's all right. Looks glossy now, but once it dries, it actually matches. It's perfect. Alright guys, so hopefully you can hear me over the stupid heater running. But you can see our setup is finished up there. I probably am not gonna, I can probably get my camera up here, hang on. So you can see, not that high, but anyway. So you can see our 4 bolts running through there. So basically that just takes the spare tire thing out of the equation. We'll still keep it there, but this thing will never come out of here now, and it made it way sturdier. So I think that'll work out pretty good. Won't have to worry about this thing going anywhere now. I just got to re-zip tie the wires that I had to cut so I could let this thing drop, and this little project back here is done finally. I'm just gonna be the camera guy and stand here and let them do all the work. There's the hitch, a very big unit. last couple bolts on the hitch here. You can see how well that complements the back of this thing with the horns and the diff cover. I mean, this hitch is just one giant hitch. There's a lot of red under there. Looks good though. All right, guys, with that being said, we're gonna wrap up this video here today with working on the Ford. So when we come back next time, we're probably gonna be doing some front end lift kit stuff. We still have to do all of that, but right now the back end of this thing is pretty much wrapped up, and it feels really good to at least have one side of the truck done. The front's gonna be a little bit more involved, a little more complicated, but we will get there. You can see kind of here, that front axle dried up, turned out pretty good. Matches real good. So, yep, next video, we'll be working on the front suspension. So, if you guys are liking these videos, please give them a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see a little bit more of the Ford build here. All right, guys, thanks, and we'll catch you on the next one.